Hello there everybody, it is me XfreezerBunny and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. So today we are back with yet another tiny living speed build. This is actually the last build I managed to pre-record specifically for tiny living. And in case you guys haven't noticed, all of my builds for Tiny Living so far had the word living somewhere on the name. So the first one I put out was Rustic Living, the last build I put out was Underwater Living, and this one is the Narrow Living. And as the name suggests, this is my attempt at making a narrow yet stylish townhouse here in the world of San Myshuno. I love building townhouses and apartments in San Myshuno, as you guys can probably tell if you follow me on the channel. However, this was a very tricky situation because usually when I build townhouses, I usually put shells and I just build unfurnished buildings right next to them. This time that wasn't possible because I was very limited when it came to the amount of tiles I had for this build. So I figured I can use those shells from university to make it look like this was somewhere downtown, somewhere in a very high density area, and still not take up all of the tile space that I needed for this house. So this actually ended up being the smallest tiny house I built for Tiny Living so far. This one ended up just under 64 tiles. I think it ended up being 59 tiles if I remember correctly. So yeah, I'm really happy with myself. This house only has a 3 tile front, but it does go all the way back, 6 tiles inside, and then there's also a very interesting irregularly shaped garden as well, which I really loved. I really enjoyed furnishing that one as well. But this house was actually inspired by a real life townhouse I saw in Vietnam from the architecture firm MM++. I feel like there's a special way to pronounce that name, I don't know, but I got very captivated by the woodwork detail they had mixed in with the industrial vibe of the townhouse itself. They had this amazing mechanism where the front facade of the house was completely made out of wood, and it was kind of mechanical. It was like you can change the shape of it, which was kind of amazing. It kind of blew me away. Obviously I didn't try to recreate that, I just got inspired by the use of concrete and wood details, and that's why this build ended up having a little bit of a tropical vibe. I definitely see this being somewhere in tropical Southeast Asia, maybe Vietnam, maybe Singapore, because I feel like Singapore also has a lot of modern tropical architecture as well. This house, by the way, was built for an industrial designer who is also a jet setter. I imagine her to be very, very fashionable. Well, she is fashionable. I've already given one of my old Sims a makeover and I love her outfit. I love the casts from Tiny Living, especially the long dress. That's the one I gave the Sim. But yeah, I really enjoyed this build actually, surprisingly. So yeah, I love these details over here of those awnings. These are from Get Together, and I'm using them as kind of industrial details on the outside, and I feel like it really ties together the aesthetic really well. The wood details and the metal and concrete really look nice. I actually really like the way this back looks. I feel like I like it just as much as the front. Oh, by the way, one of the biggest challenges for doing this build was making sure that everything fit and making sure that everything was functional, because the stairs in the game, don't get me started, the staircases take up way too much space. I thought I would have an easy time building this because you know, I'm quite used to building tiny houses. That wasn't the case, obviously. I feel like I got a little bit overconfident. So the staircase, I had to change them quite a bit. I had them in a different shape initially, so I ended up just sticking with this L-shaped stairs because that was the one that gave me the most space. You can actually use a little bit of the underneath of the stairs, so I will be putting stuff in there as well. This house is totally jam-packed. Anyway, moving on to the interior. So the ground level is mainly kind of like a utility space. This is where we have the only bathroom in the house. It's a fully functional 3-tile bathroom. This is also where we have the laundry area, and also there's a sink right next to the washing machine. There's no dryer in here, but there is a clothesline later outside. I know some of you guys will find this really weird, having literally like this, you know, laundry area the moment you enter the house, but you know, when the Sim Gurus did a live stream for Tiny Living, they did specifically say that you are going to make sacrifices. It's not gonna turn out like your normal everyday house because of the limitations, and I really enjoy that because in the end this house did turn out really interesting. So here I'm just putting in a little, you know, mechanical, I guess, electrical box, and just some, you know, random stuff you would find in a house, basically, you know, some cleaning equipment, some, you know, like utility stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the ground level. Moving on to the second floor, which is basically the kitchen and dining area. This actually is surprisingly spacious, if I do say so myself. I think a lot of that is because of the fact that I use these open windows from Island Living to give this space a little bit of a different character. So technically this is an open space to the outside, basically, but you know, I think it works actually. I don't know. You guys will have to let me know if it does or if it doesn't. But I was really happy with how this kitchen and dining area came together. Once again, it's all fully functional. Everything is fully tested. You guys will see in the house tour that everything works. Usually, sometimes I move things around, but it's usually just minor stuff. Anyway, so yeah, this is a 2-seater dining table using a table from a base game and some chairs from Tiny Living, and I just wanted to add in a little bit of character over here, so I added some of these really nice paintings from Tiny Living. Those are really good, and that clock as well, which kind of reminds me of a mid-century modern style, which I feel like works really well with the overall art style of this pack. Anyway, I actually finished this build about a week ago. I actually posted a preview of this even before I posted previews of my, you know, recent build, which is the underwater house build. And that's because I wasn't quite sure which one I wanted to upload first. I ended up sticking to my chronological order of building everything because I just felt like this build, you know, was a better predecessor to my next build, which is a very special one. This, by the way, is the kind of like, I don't know, this area is kind of where I imagine the Sim would like wash their face, you know, like in the morning. That's why I put like some toothbrushes right next to that sink, and also a mirror as well. That's not something you'd normally expect from a kitchen sink, but I didn't want the Sim to go all the way downstairs to just brush their teeth in the morning, if you guys got what I mean. So moving on to the master bedroom / living room. So this house, I feel like I really got to use the Murphy bed and its full functionality as a Murphy bed, because this house doesn't actually have a living room. It has a multi-purpose living / bedroom right here, and I feel like that's what the Murphy bed is for. You know, it's really meant for really small spaces like these. I love that avocado and like orange color that I chose for that closet. By the way, I feel like added a little bit of character to this area. Once again, I do imagine the sim staying here to be very, very stylish. So yeah, this is the main bedroom. Believe it or not, the sim can actually watch that TV if they have the, you know, bed up as a love seat. If you have the bed down, by the way, your sim couldn't walk around the room, but they can still access the bed, one side of the bed, to sleep on. I remember back then being able to actually have both sims sleep on the bed, like even if you had it against the wall. I feel like something changed. I feel like they're fixing that right now because of the new stuff they did for Tiny Living. So I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing that implemented once again, because that would be kind of a bummer if they had to take it out for some strange reason. Anyway, this is the last room that we're going to be furnishing on this house, and this is actually the home office, I guess. So yeah, this is kind of just like a, you know, a loft to the bedroom level. And yeah, I wanted this to kind of be like a place where our industrial designer could work from home. I do imagine that they have like an actual office, but you know, sometimes they work at home, they have to work at home, maybe for like, I don't know, admin stuff, you know. So this is where they would probably do that. So yeah, it's a pretty straightforward space. I didn't take up the whole entire floor for this because, like I said, I wanted it to feel a little bit more of like a loft to the bedroom area, so that's why I put this as kind of like a balcony instead. But yeah, here I'm just putting in some files. I will change up some of these wall decorations because I wasn't happy. Oh, these are the ones that I ended up going with, and I feel like these ones felt a little bit more like something an industrial designer would have in their wall. And of course I put some diplomas in there, some awards, and a little bit of neon lights as well for some character. And I just put that chair right there in that balcony over there because I imagine this to be kind of like a break, like a lunch break, you know, space. I'm making some changes over here to the first floor, ground floor area. I felt like the main door I originally had was closing off the space too much, so I replaced it with this arch instead, which I feel like kind of opened up the space a little bit more. Plus I feel like these like folding wooden doors or like the actual doors to the house, if you guys get what I mean. So yeah, I didn't feel like a need to have another front door for that. And this is the backyard, and as you guys can see, it's kind of like an irregular shape. I did want this to feel like somewhere in a very high density area, so that's why I literally surrounded this house with these shells from university. I'm glad we had them. The only problem I have with those shells is that they're obviously European, and as I mentioned earlier, I do see this house as more of like somewhere in Southeast Asia. So I would have loved to have had some more modern, you know, shells, because I think that would make everything more versatile. But you know, it is what it is. We work with what we got here, and I'm still really happy with this area. I love this actually. So here I put basically like a hangout area. I put like a barbecue in here and kind of like an outdoor dining area. I think this is perfect for like summer barbecues. And also there's a clothesline in there as well for your sim to hang their clothes after they're finished using it in the washing machine. And I'm just adding in a bunch of other, you know, details over here. I also put in woodworking table in here as well, once again for our industrial designer if they need to do something like, I don't know, maybe like they have to do some spray painting or whatever. I remember having that problem in my apartment when I was a student in architecture, when I had to, do some spray painting or do some like, scale modeling work. I always had to do it like in the balcony of my apartment. So yeah, that's kind of like the purpose I had for that space. Oh, I love using these red trees from Island Living. I don't know what they're called in game, I keep forgetting, but where I'm from, we call these flame trees, and you see these all throughout Southeast Asia actually. And they look really, really good. I wish we had a green swatch. That would have been so awesome, because this tree is always in bloom, which is fine. I just wish they had another swatch where it wasn't flowering. But anyway, I'm just adding in a couple more details over here, but I think that's actually going to be it for this build. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think about it in the comments below. And also, special announcement, I'm currently working on a brand new series. It's going to be something big. Yeah, I'm not gonna give away too much, but I'm currently working on that right now. It's a little bit of a complicated build, so hopefully I get to finish it sometime later this week, so I get to put it out for you guys. I'm not making any promises yet, because like I said, it's gonna be a little bit complicated, but I'm so excited to get it out for you guys. And for more announcements and updates on that, you can always follow me on my social media, on my Twitter and on my Instagram. I will be posting on there for updates, so all of that will be in the description below. But yeah, other than that, I'm gonna go now. Thank you guys so much for watching. You all have an awesome day. Enjoy the rest of the video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.